Manchester United massively evaluating and changing their transfer strategy as they put their transfer plans in place for 2024. Marcos Leonardo, this young South American centre-back, now being linked with United. A lot of players from South America being linked to United, Nico Williams, Tolibo, and more. Could any of this happen in January? We've got some sort of positive takeover developments in the sense of sort of structural changes that are likely to happen at Manchester United. If Jim Ratcliffe is successful on his 25% bid, it's said that he will have full sporting control and bring in sporting people to do that. And you know me, I'm very full sale only. I'm not happy that Jim Ratcliffe's coming in and buying 25%, but I said all we can hope for now, because we know it's going to be Jim Ratcliffe and we know it's going to be the Glazers staying. I said all we can hope for now with this takeover is that Ratcliffe gets control and he implements sporting people and he runs this club properly, even if the Glazers are still here. And there's some reports that that's what he's going to do. It could be PR, but we will get into that because Jim Ratcliffe is evaluating Man United's transfer strategy. Apparently, he said the whole transfer signing of Casemiro was particularly bad. Apparently, Nice are talking about their plan if, obviously he owns Manchester United, all of that stuff. And then we also will be doing a match preview for United versus Copenhagen tonight. Who's going to be in the starting lineup? Anthony on the bench. What is the starting lineup ahead of the Nice game? So lots to talk about in today's video, but please do smash that like button, subscribe down below if you're new, and share the video. We'll do takeover news, transfer news, and then we'll do the preview for the Nice game and what is looking likely to be at the lineup ahead of the Nice game. There's been, Copenhagen game, it's because I just said Nice, been a few leaks. So it was said by United Muppeteers, who obviously are quite pro-Sir Jim Ratcliffe, but they have been quite credible with a lot of the things they've reported over the coming months. So even though they have been more pro-Sir Jim Ratcliffe and a little bit biased there, they have been very credible in the information that they have given out. And they said top executives from Inos Sport expected to be directly involved in the running of Manchester United's sporting department once the deal is ratified, are engaging in face-to-face discussions with Glazer, with Sir Jim Ratcliffe set to join them, more to come. So what they're saying, and again, I always say believe it when I see it. It could be PR. I think a lot of people aren't happy about the takeover because, rightly so, Jim Ratcliffe's claimed he's a United fan and he's only looking to buy 25% of the club. But then some people are saying that's the only way Jim Ratcliffe was going to be able to acquire United. The Glazers never wanted a full sale. There's lots of debates, debacles on that, but a lot of people aren't happy because at the end of the day, the Glazers are staying. I'm not happy, and there's always big chances there's going to be PR. They don't want there to be protests, all of that. And I think, there's a lot of reports coming out about Paul Mitchell, Sir Jim Ratcliffe making changes, which now we know it's going to be Ratcliffe and the Glazers staying. The best thing that can happen is that Sir Jim Ratcliffe makes changes to the sporting side and employs good people to do that. He was said that these executives do include football people. If we can get rid of bankers and get rid of football people, that is the best case scenario we can hope for. So you have to look at it in a positive way, but you also have to say, actually, well, I'm not going to believe anything till I see it, because we know Manchester United, we're PR Chester United, we're, PR spin, negotiation tactic FC as well. We do use media to sort of paint a picture of things to try and please fans and create some positivity. But, I mean, the way it is if Sir Jim Ratcliffe comes in, which it looks like is going to be the case, I think Qatar are completely out of it. And it looks like the Glazers is going to stay. If Sir Jim Ratcliffe can come in and he can bring in sporting people, bring in Paul Mitchell, this and that, get rid of the Glazers ASAP, that is the best thing that we can do. We're not happy. I don't want 25% sold. I want a full sale, but it's going to be 25% sold unless a miracle happens from Qatar. And the best thing we can hope for is that there's the right people running the sporting side of the club and that Joel Glazer is eventually brought out. Now, one of the interesting things that Ratcliffe is apparently doing is an audit of the club's transfer business. This was said by Mark Ogden. He came out and said that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is undertaking an audit of Manchester United's transfer business over recent seasons. He wants to ensure the wasted millions of the past are not repeated when his management team take over, which is good because you think, okay, we spent over 80 million on Anthony, 80 million on Maguire. Even players like Mason Mount, I think, has been good. I don't know if he was the right profile of midfielder we need. We don't know how to implement him and Bruno into the same team. There's so much money we spent in the lap. Why did we spend that much money on this person, that person? Apparently, Ratcliffe's one he picked out was Casemiro for £60 million. It's complete waste because of his age. But I actually think that Casemiro was the reason we got top 4 last season. So I'm not going to say it's a waste, even though Casemiro's dropped off this season. But, we have to look at our transfer strategy, how we spent money in the past. We spent 1.4 billion since Sir Alex left. We spent the third most in the Premier League since Sir Alex left, but we've not been the third best team in the Premier League at all. Do you know what I mean? So I guess in that sense, Sergeant Ratcliffe gets sporting people in and evaluates the transfer strategy and gets people like Paul Mitchell or Ralph Rangnick or Michael Edwards or Dan Ashworth to take the reign. I still think United can be successful. And the reason I say that is, we're such a big club, we generate so much money, and we spent the third most amount of money after City and Chelsea. If we'd actually had the right people in place, like a Michael Edwards, a Dan Ashworth, and they spent that money properly, yeah, we could be 10 times better off right now. We could have a much better team. We could have gone through way less managers, and that's the way I see it. And that's what we've got to hope Ratcliffe does. It's going to be Ratcliffe 99%. We have to accept that. I wanted Qatar. It's not going to be Qatar. It's going to be Ratcliffe. But we've just got to hope that actually the money that's spent is spent on backing the manager. That, it's actually spent on making this team good. It's not about dividends. It's not about how much clicks we can get on social media and commercial stuff. Because I feel like too much in the past, Man United have not been serious. Now, an interesting thing is people obviously speak about Nice and Ratcliffe's involvement in Nice. And a senior Nice source who said they will speak on the condition of anonymity due to obviously the confidential nature of ongoing negotiations, stated that the club do have a plan in place should Jim Ratcliffe still progress. And they also cited an opportunity to learn from United and collaborative opportunities. So Nice reportedly have a plan in place. Ratcliffe probably has a plan in place should this still progress, which is kind of expected because Nice could be in the Champions League next season. We probably won't be in the Champions League next season, but you know my point. It'll be interesting to see how we get around owning two and all of that as well. But what I want to know about Ratcliffe is what's happening to the debt. Are you clearing the debt? You're borrowing money to buy the club. I want to know about the money you're borrowing to buy the club. Where's that going? I want to know if that's going to contribute to the debt. And those are the questions not being answered. Those difficult questions aren't being answered. I'm all for structural changes at United. Brilliant. But I want to know about the debt. I want to know about how and when you're going to buy out the Glazers. Where's that money going to go? Where's that money coming from? Because I know Inos have got a lot of money, and I know a lot of reports coming out saying that they actually plan to own United properly. It's not about making money out of United. But we have no reason to trust you. Do you know what I mean? And I think we need to see it happen, but we also need answers for certain questions as well. Now, in terms of transfer news, it said that Juventus are looking to sign Jadon Sancho. Manchester United are looking at right-wing options. However, their chances of signing a right-winger in the January window look to be dependent on if Sancho's move is a permanent or a loan. So we'll probably only get Sancho out on loan because we're Manchester United and we can't sell. But if it's a permanent, there's a chance for a January right-winger. It said Donny van de Beek and Martial are players that United will listen to offers for in January. And again, potentially Man United will buy someone if money is raised through sales. Manchester United are a big fan of Todibo, but there's no guarantee that Jim Ratcliffe's deal will be ratified by January, and we don't know what spending will be like or if there could be a relationship with Nice. It looks like centre-back is going ahead more of the summer. If there is going to be a move in January, it will be someone sort of from South America that United see as a bargain deal, someone that's too good to resist. They've said they are looking at actually a centre-back called Sebastian Cáceres, who's Tottenham also looking at. Now, he's a 24-year-old centre-back, probably a bench player. I don't think he's top quality, but if we are linked to him more, I will do more research on him. Obviously, looking at Cubo, Nico Williams, Pedro Neto, and Marcus Leonardo is one to most definitely keep an eye on ahead of the January transfer window. So that is the update on obviously the transfers and everything going on with United there. Now let's get into the preview ahead of the Copenhagen game and what the lineup could be. Okay, so what's Man United's rumoured starting 11 to be ahead of the Copenhagen game? So this is my 11. This is the rumoured starting 11 ahead of the game. And it is obviously Reguilon back in the squad with Maguire and Varane. Now, interesting thing is I don't think Copenhagen have scored in their last 7 away European games, which means they're probably going to score in the opening few minutes. Now, Casemiro was spotted sort of returning to training, but Man United don't think he'll be ready yet. So I believe it will be Amrabat. I actually think it could be Eriksson because you can just see that Ten Hag's really sort of liking and putting Eriksson on a lot. I think it's going to be Mount because Mount is rumoured to be back in the lineup, and it said that Anthony's dropped. And unfortunately, I think that's going to be Bruno on the right-hand side. And I'm not a big fan of Bruno on the right-hand side. Obviously, Højlund is going to play. He was taken off early, and I think Rashford will play. But if I'm Ten Hag, I'm rewarding Garnacho right now. If I'm Ten Hag, I'm putting Garnacho on. But from what I'm aware of, this is going to be the starting lineup. That's what the believed starting lineup is going to be. Obviously, not Garnacho, Rashford. The believed starting lineup will still be Rashford, despite his poor form. it looks like that's going to be the lineup. Personally, myself, if I was in charge, my lineup would actually probably implement someone like Mejbri in there. I'd probably have Garnacho. I'm sorry about any background noise. People are hoovering. I'd probably have Garnacho in there, and I wouldn't play Bruno on the right wing. I'd either play Anthony or Pellistri on the right wing. Or if I wanted to put Bruno in the lineup, I'd play Mount on the right wing, and I'd probably put Bruno in here. But personally, myself, I just don't like Bruno on the right wing. I don't think it works. I think I would like someone like Mejbri in just because he covers a lot of ground. However, if you do have someone like Eriksson, and in this game we do expect to dominate possession, he does bring in that aspect of control. But I think, for me, it's really important that Manchester United managed to control the game, slow it down. I think the football we've been playing recently is so erratic. It's ping-pong football. It's been nowhere near good enough that it's really important that we do, really, when we play, actually make 3 passes without losing the ball, actually be able to pass the ball like a proper normal team. Anyway, people, please do smash that like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new, share the video and all of that. That is your roundup on the latest in terms of the transfer front, the latest in terms of the takeover front, and of course the lineup that is expected to be played versus Copenhagen. Now, we cannot draw that game, we cannot lose that game, we must win that game. I think we will win that game, but I don't have enough belief in the side. I think Anthony probably should be dropped. I don't want to see Bruno on the right wing. I think maybe Pellistri or Mount have got to play right wing for me. We'll have to see. I do apologise about background noise. See you next time, and bye.